Literally, I was going to add something to the end of that, and in the process of turning the camera on and putting it down, I forgot what it was. Oh, hey, that's what it was. It's a made-up thing. Self-care is completely made up. That term makes it sound so important and so self-whatever, so it makes you sound educated even when you're not. It's not a thing. Self-care is not a thing. It is literally just being a normal, responsible, healthy adult. That's it. And that's why you can't find a definition of it. This is the short version video. I'm going to edit the longer version video and tell you why I'm like this today. Self-care. We live in a day and age, I swear, where people love to make themselves feel special in any and every way they can possibly find to make themselves feel special, which means they have to come up with all kinds of, like, you know, when you look up a recipe online, you can never, ever find the ingredients and how to put it all together. What you find is like 10 pages of how this person, lifelong journey, was looking for something and couldn't find it, and they thought they'd found it, but it wasn't right. And then, ta-da, they found in the attic this thing that saved their lives, and it turns out to be this epic recipe that we're gonna get to in another 8 pages, but we still have to go through a very long and involved literal life journey of this person before they finally tell you what the ingredients are. And then sometimes there's a little more talk before they finally tell you how to put the ingredients together. They become your life coach and your therapist, and the actual person going to therapy, all rolled into one. And I'm like, would you just give me the ingredients and how to put them together? And then there's a whole bunch of terms that are the same way. What is a bullet journal? What is self-love? What is self-care? And I know there are others, but I can't think of them at the moment. Those are the ones that come to mind because those are the ones I've been dealing with lately. People love to throw out these terms, and they either, like, you know, fill an entire flippin' book. I'm looking at one on my shelf. It's one of the dumbest books I've ever read in my life. They love to fill an entire book that's supposedly telling you what self-love is and how to do it. And I'm like, huh? Wait, did you define? Oh, I suppose you actually defined it as. Did you actually define it? What the heck is self? It's not me, okay? It's you. And then, what is a bullet journal? I ask people, what is a bullet journal? I look at videos on what is a bullet journal because I'm like, it's irking me to the nth degree that I swear, people swear, they've told me, my best friend has told me probably more than once what a bullet journal is, and yet I'm still like, wait, what's a bullet journal again? I'm like, so a bullet journal is whatever you want it to be. Okay, so what if I want to do this and this with it? No, that's not exactly a bullet journal. I'm like, okay, then what if I want to do this and this? And, well, no, that's not really a bullet journal either. And I'm like, well, how about this and this? And like, that's not really. Then what is a bullet journal? It's whatever you want it to be. And then I'm watching this video, how to do self-care when you have ADHD. People love to throw this word out there, self-care, and there's apparently the 2 different camps, where some people think that self-care is basically being a spoiled brat. Go ahead and spend hundreds of dollars on yourself to spoil yourself today. Go ahead and have this luxurious whatever to spoil yourself today. And then other people in the other camp are like, that's sort of a form of self-care. Yeah, that's nice sometimes, but you know, that's not really what self-care is. And I'm like, what is self-care then? And they're like, well, it's different from person to person. I'm like, what is self-care? And they're like, well, even for the same person, it's different from day to day. I'm like, what is self-care? And it's like a 15-minute video, and by the end of it, if you can manage to sit through it, basically by the end of it, self-care is literally just being a responsible, normal, healthy adult. Self-care today is doing the laundry and taking a walk. Self-care tomorrow is taking a shower and feeding your dog. Self-care the next day is grieving. Self-care I'm like, self-care is keeping my mental brain healthy. Self-care is keeping my physical body healthy. Self-care is not watching your video because your video is stupid. Self-care, it makes you sound so important. Self-care, it takes you 15 minutes to explain what self-care is. And I'm like, by the end of it, you could have told me in 2 seconds. Self-care is being a healthy, responsible adult. This is the short version video. I already said in the other one, I'll just make the long video and I'll make the short version video. So there you go. Within less than 6 minutes, because it's already 5.5 minutes and I'm not done, within 6 minutes, even that took too long. I didn't even need 6 minutes to tell you what self-care is. And then my therapist, how are you going to self-care today? And my mind goes blank because I'm like, what's self-care again? Self-care is literally just being a healthy, normal, responsible adult. Okay, how are you going to self-care today? Well, I did the dishes. I self-cared. Bye.